The iron secret that could save a kingdom has been won, but the price was a truth that could destroy it from within. David now carries a prophecy that his crown will be forged in fire and blood, and the king he once served has just declared him an enemy of the throne. The echo of David's public defiance in the throne room has not faded. It has ignited a firestorm. King Saul's rage is no longer a private simmering jealousy. It is now a public cold fury that demands a response. He cannot let this insult from his former champion stand. In the days following the confrontation, Saul will move decisively to isolate David. He will strip him of his military command, reassigning his most loyal soldiers to Joab and other commanders who have proven their allegiance to the crown. This is not just a demotion. It is a calculated move to cut David off from his power base, leaving him vulnerable and alone. The court of Gibeah, once a place where David was celebrated, becomes a nest of whispers and fearful glances. No one will dare to be seen with him for fear of attracting the king's wrath. Saul will also use his daughter Merab as a pawn in this new Cold War. He will publicly reaffirm her betrothal to another, a lesser noble from a loyalist family, to demonstrate that David has lost not only his position, but his place in the royal lineage. This act severs the last political tie that bound David to Saul's house, making his status as an outsider official and absolute. While Saul plots, David is paralyzed not by fear, but by the devastating prophecy of the Witch of Endor. Her words, "Your house will never know peace," have become a haunting mantra in his mind. He sees every potential path forward through this lens of inevitable tragedy. His love for Michal feels like a death sentence for her. His friendship with Jonathan feels like a source of future betrayal. Even his desire to protect Israel feels like it will lead to its ruin. This spiritual crisis will force David into a profound solitude. He will retreat from public life, spending his days in prayer and turmoil, seeking a sign from God that contradicts the witch's dark fortune. He will question the very nature of his anointing by Samuel. Was it a blessing, or was it the curse the witch claimed it to be? This internal conflict is the true battle of the episode. David must decide whether to be shackled by a prophecy or to forge his own path through faith. His decision will define the man he is to become, a pawn of fate or a king who shapes his own destiny, no matter the cost. This is the moment the shepherd boy must truly die, and the leader must be born from the ashes of his shattered illusions. Saul's descent is accelerating from paranoia into a full-blown madness that threatens the stability of the entire kingdom. He becomes obsessed with the witch's prediction of his downfall. He will spend hours staring at the stored sword of Goliath, not as a trophy, but as a symbol of the boy who stole his glory, and, in his mind, his divine favor. He will begin having violent, unpredictable outbursts, accusing even his most trusted servants of being spies for David. His court becomes a prison of fear. Queen Ahinoam and Jonathan watch in horror, powerless to stop his spiral. In a desperate and tyrannical move, Saul will summon every known seer, prophet, and diviner in the land, demanding they reveal David's location and plans. When they cannot, or when their answers do not satisfy him, his wrath will be terrible. This is the beginning of his direct war against God's established order, setting the stage for his infamous consultation with a medium at Endor later in his story. His kingdom is no longer being ruled. It is being consumed by the king's personal demons. As the central authority of Gibeah crumbles, the political landscape of Israel begins to shift. In the power vacuum created by Saul's madness and David's absence, new players begin to emerge. Joab, the ambitious soldier, sees his chance. He will actively consolidate power, positioning himself as the strong, sane alternative to a failing monarchy. He will also intensify his courtship of Michal, not out of love, but as a strategic move to align himself with the royal family and legitimize his own rising influence. Meanwhile, the secret of iron, the great hope they brought back from Endor, is in jeopardy. With David exiled and Saul unstable, Commander Abner is left to implement this technological revolution alone. He will work in secret, establishing a hidden forge far from Gibeah, staffed by men whose loyalty is to him personally. But the witch's prophecy about his own fate, that his loyalty will lead to his death, hangs over every decision he makes. His actions are no longer just for his king, but for the survival of Israel itself, and he knows he may be building an army for a future ruler, not the present one. The episode must culminate in an event that makes the schism between Saul and David permanent and violent. Jonathan, torn between his father and his sworn brother, will learn of a specific, lethal order. Saul, in a private council with only his most ruthless commanders, will give a command for David's assassination. It will not be a public execution, but a quiet, bloody murder in the night, designed to look like an accident or the work of bandits. This is the ultimate moral crossing for Saul. Jonathan, upon overhearing this, is faced with his final test. His loyalty to his father's house ends where the murder of his innocent friend begins. He will risk everything to slip away from the palace and find David in his hiding place. Their meeting will be brief and heartbreaking. Jonathan will not just warn David, he will effectively say goodbye. He will give David supplies, a weapon, and his final blessing, telling him, "You must flee. Do not look back. The Lord go with you, for my father's house cannot." As David disappears into the wilderness, a true fugitive with a price on his head, the camera will hold on Jonathan's face, etched with the sorrow of a man who has just lost his brother and his king in a single moment. The screen fades to black on David, alone under a vast, star-filled sky, his kingdom nothing but a promise and the weight of a prophecy his only companion.